Yo, what's up everybody? It's me, Robert Muriane, and tonight I'm doing a live stream. We are live right now. Q&A, fifth live stream ever, fifth Q&A ever, and let's see what kind of questions you guys have in the chat. You guys can ask any questions at any time. Also, Super Chat is on, so feel free to donate. Anyone that donates and asks a question while they donate, obviously will get their question answered first. I know there's only like 6 people in here, so don't even worry about donating. Q&As are really the lowest form of YouTubing you can do. It's really easy and kind of cheap, but I haven't done one in 10 months, so I think I'm about due. Let's open up the chat and open up the forum for questions. Sweet. Admittedly, I was in here for like 10 minutes before I started the video. So there are some questions and people in the chat already. So I'm going to just start with the first one I see. Let's see. I just kind of answered this one, but why not? Let's start with some controversy. People say you are repetitive, but who cares, brother? Your essence is something else. Okay, well that was more of a statement, right? I used to care. I used to get bothered that people used to say that I'm repetitive, and like all the videos I posted were performances at that time. So around the time of So You Think You Could Dance, and whenever I do performance, I do a lot of my moves. So a lot of the stuff that was online at that time was performances, thus you had to see my moves. But these days, if you check my back catalog, all my dance videos are very unique, and I rarely do any bone breaking or old moves or back bends or whatever it may be. So, hope that answers your question. Thanks, CNM. Wa. Joyce. Okay. Let's see, next question. Sayo1991, you wanted to tell us new infos about Fusion that you heard of. I want to tell you, but I can't tell you because I promised I wouldn't tell. I'm not even going to tell you who I was talking to because I don't want to get in trouble. Because I promised the person I talked to that I wouldn't say anything. So I've only said the most vague possible thing I could possibly say. So as soon as I get the okay to say something, I'm going to make a video and post it as soon as I can. So thanks for your question. Sayo. K-Funk, I still couldn't get my review. I'm really curious about your thoughts. Can I learn my cue or something, please? Can you learn your cue? I don't know what you mean. But don't worry, you're going to be like 3 episodes from the next reactions and critiques. I think I'm about 3 or 4 episodes to the end of the list. So I'm going to be doing at least 2 a week live streams. So K-Funk, at least 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to get to your review. So, and that goes for everyone else as well. If you submitted a dance video in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to get to everybody. I promise. So look out for the reactions and critiques. Thanks for asking, K-Funk. I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know. So, Fred TYB, any tips on dancing in public without being embarrassed? You gotta just dance in public more often, and then the embarrassment will eventually go away. You'll get used to it. I think it's just takes practice. Yeah, I think it's that simple. Just do it more often, and you're gonna be less embarrassed every time you do it. I think that's the best advice I can give you on that one. Thanks for asking, Fred. Reshef Kaushik asking, so you think you can dance? I think I can dance, yeah. I think so. Gwen, what's the real personality of the twins? Oh, man. Yo, I have no idea. I made a video where I react to the twins, and I make some very personal judgments on that Le Twins reaction video, so you can go check that out and see what I think about them personally. I'm not going to repeat it here because I don't want any controversy on the Q&A, but go check out that video. I think it's pretty good. For the amount of arguments I got in the comments, it has a really good like to dislike ratio. Like most people, even though they had a problem with what I said, still liked the video. So That's pretty cool. But yeah, it was just my opinion what I said, so you can go check it out there. Joshua, those are power moves, so it's something to be proud of. Thank you. I appreciate that. They are power moves. My signature moves are my power moves. So always have those in your back pocket, right? Valmer, are you participating in any battles this year? Dude, not this year, not 2019, that's for sure. I'm 99.9% that I'm not going to battle this year. But if I do, it'll be next year, and it'll be early next year. So I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been training. I've been doing cardio and calisthenics. I was like, how do I say this word? So I've been really training lately pretty hard, and I'm in great shape. I think I just need to come up with some new combinations and come up with like a repertoire of new stuff and new combos to bring out. I also have my hat tricks, so I think I'm almost ready to start battling, but it keeps crossing my mind, and it could be really interesting to do like a video where I follow myself and my training to prepare for a competition, because I haven't competed in 10 years, so there's a cool storyline there. You know, I can make my comeback and either win or fail, whatever happens. But I think it might be a cool idea for a storyline for the channel, and it'll get me active. So thanks for asking, Valmer. I think so, but probably next year. So Reshef asks, I am a beginner b-boy, but due to stage fear, I crash a lot in battles. Any tips? Crashing a lot in battles, even if it is stage fear, it means you just need to practice more. Drill your sets, like drill your combinations until you get them down. In any situation, do what I told. I'm sorry, I can't scroll up. Practice. Put yourself out there. Keep dancing in public. Keep dancing on stage. Battle. Dance not only in studios alone, but dance with other dancers, so that way you get used to the feeling of other people watching you dance, and that should improve your accuracy for landing your tricks and stuff. But yeah, you also should be practicing your sets until you get them down packed to where you will never crash, or your chances of crashing are very small. So thanks for asking, dude. Hari, Circus Finlandia. Yeah, Circus Finlandia. I just did a show like 3 hours ago. We had a good show in Tampere. I don't know, Harry, if you're from Tampere, but in Tampere, the people here, the public, they're live. They're lit. They get down. They're screaming. It's awesome. I think this was one of the only cities where we had a standing ovation as well, so big up Tampere. So yeah, thanks for shouting that out real quick. Libra, Tie-Dyes is on live exposing canon and ghetto style right now, or did that already happen? Because I made a video about that already. So if this is another video you're talking about, then I want to see it. Link it in the comments, or link it to DM me and link that to me, please. If it's new. If it's not new, then I already know. Sayo, thanks. You're welcome. CNM, the real art lovers will never let you down, Rob. You're a perfect artist and showman. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not perfect, always a student, but I appreciate the intent. Oliver Wilhelmsen. Oliver Wilhelmsen. Can you give us some advice for training on how to train hip-hop or popping? Do as much as you can all the time. Immerse yourself in the scene and the culture. Dance as much as you can. Battle. Street perform. Do free performances on stage. Do anything and everything. Open as many doors as possible and see what works for you, because there's lots of different paths you can go down as a dancer, and the more paths you travel, then the more you'll figure out where you want to be and who you want to be. I think that's some good ideas for starting out in popping, but how to train, I don't know. There's no one way how to train. Sometimes I go into clubs and just do rounds with other dancers and just dance in clubs, and that gives you a whole another set of training than it does when you're in the studio or if you're taking a class. Like, all of these experiences are completely different, and if you're practicing the same foundation for popping or for hip hop, but in all of these different scenarios, then of course you'll be more experienced in different situations. And yeah, I would also say that surrounding yourself around the best dancers in your area is also the best thing that you can possibly do. Even if they're so much better than you that they don't want to hang around you at first, like, keep showing that you're insistent about learning the dance style, and keep showing up, keep practicing, and eventually you're gonna win everyone's respect, and people will take you under their wing and show you. Normally it's like that in hip hop culture. So keep putting yourself out there, keep showing that you care about learning, and people will teach you. Surround yourself with the best. So I hope that helps out. I know that's pretty obvious, kind of, maybe not, but I think that's the best advice I can give you on how to train. Multiple situations, multiple scenarios. Who is my favorite bone breaker? Okay, so admittedly, thanks for asking. I don't know. I admittedly, like, I haven't been up to date on bone breakers, and I know that I've seen, like, in the corner of my eye, in my peripheral, a bunch of crazy stuff, but I can't put down a name on who did what. So a year and a half or a year ago, about a year ago, when I did my last Q&A, like 10 months ago, I was really feeling bonetics, but a lot's happened since then, so I really don't know. I really like how Cristo adds bone breaking into his style, because he's really a dope popper and hip hop dancer, kind of like a mix of different styles, animation, waver. But I like the way he adds bone breaking into his sets, because he just doesn't fly through moves. He's also moving his body and expressing his movement with the music, along with the music. So I guess he's not quite a bone breaker, but you catch my drift. I'm not really sure. Thanks for asking, though. Leader of the free world. How can I get good at animation style? That is a good question. I think a lot of animation style, aside from like dime stopping and strobing and these like vibrating and these cutting up the beat into many pieces with your movement, I think besides that, it's a lot about being creative and trying to mimic things in the real world that are not human and that make you as a human look fake, as in like an object moving or some kind of texture of movement that is present when mechanics move. Or so I really think coming up with some kind of storytelling really makes the illusion pop out, because people can relate like to the story that you're trying to tell, because a movement is hard, it's very subjective. Like, your audience will not really, they can interpret it in any way, but if you tell a specific story and people can understand exactly what it is you're trying to mimic, I think that the animation becomes a lot more obvious. Like how Plastide, for example, does the natural like video game character stance. You know what I'm talking about. He does these kind of like fake characters that exist in video game animation, and it's very obvious. And I think because he's borrowing from real life, it translates very well. So I hope that makes sense. I think I answered that question pretty decently. So thanks for asking, leader of the free world. Rob, your question is, what do you look for when judging two different styles against each other? I mean, I just left a long comment, and I commented on that in my last video, Epic Battles, Larry versus Tie-Dyes. I explained exactly how I did it. So in that battle, I'll reiterate it, but I might leave something out this time. I don't know why I'm thinking I will, but it's kind of complicated. I do it when there's two different styles I judge on significant moments, and I'm talking about judging fusion concept, where the guests, and in that case with Larry and Tie-Dyes, they were at the highest echelons of their respected styles. So I wasn't quite judging them on technique because the technique by default was already really high. So I was looking for significant moments, and in that significant moment category are beat kills, times when they become the music, times where the routine is just on fire and everything is live and everyone is feeling that that dancer is killing it at the moment. And you can obviously, significant moments mean a lot. I mean, especially when you're putting two styles that are completely different up against each other, it's hard to really find criteria to judge on. Yeah, because both Larry and the twins were dancing really well in both of their respected styles. So yeah, it's up for debate. Like, there's a million ways you could judge it. So that's how I did it in that video, for example. So hope that answers. Damn, these questions are coming quick. Fred, sorry if I miss some. If I miss it, then you can ask again and I'll answer it. Don't worry. Fred TYB. Oh no, it went up. Here, let me see. Let me just open it real quick. Yeah, see, this is a pain in the ass. If I miss this, don't trip. If I miss your question, just ask again. I know I repeated myself, but I'm gonna like start in the middle of the feed because it's going too quick. Justin Davis, having trouble with making videos. I feel great and in the zone if practice or battles, but once I try to make a video, it all goes to shit. I forget everything once the camera is on. Why? Oh man. Tell me about it. Every time. I have the same problem and I've been dancing for 15 years. 16, 17 years, something like that. 16 years. So, yeah, the more often you do it, the better you'll be at it. Like I give the same advice to everyone else. If you want to be better on stage, then practice more on stage or perform more on stage. If you want to be better on camera, then film yourself all the time. That's what I did with this vlogging business. I just kept doing it over and over until it became comfortable. It took me like 20 episodes to get really comfortable and into a flow. So I'd say it's the same for dancing. You got to just keep doing it and keep at it. Do it every day. Yeah, do it every day. And if you don't do what you wanted to do the first day, then sleep on it and try it again the next day. Sometimes you just need to sleep on it and refresh your mind, and then sometimes that's all you need to do to clear the cobwebs. So, thanks for asking, Justin Davis. I hope that helps out. Sayanemwa. Your humility is what makes you a perfectionist, because you never say you're complete. That's where you belong on the list of toppers in the dancing fraternity. Thanks. Stop. Just stop it. By the way, great content. Thank you very much, Justin. I appreciate that. I really do. Let's see. Reshef, do I really agree with Alien Ness, or do I have a different opinion on the issues he addressed in the video I reacted to? I mean, I said what I wanted to say. I don't retract anything in that video. The only thing that may be controversial about all these videos that I post is the memes, the thumbnails, and the headlines, the clickbait. Because the clickbait sometimes is controversial. You think you're going to be watching a video about something really, like, dramatic, but I try to turn the point of the video into something positive or something that we can learn something about. We can learn a lesson from the situation, the drama. because it's really not interesting to just point out the drama and then be like, kind of like how I did with the green tech getting slapped by Larry. The first drama video I did, I really didn't think too much about it. And it turned out really funny. Like, I'm proud of that video, but I'm not proud of the message I sent. I should have... Going back to what I said about practicing on camera, I did that one twice, and I forgot what I wanted to say at the end. Like, I forgot to add my conclusion. And when I was editing it, I was like, damn, I didn't say what I wanted to say at the end. So I'm glad that Alien Nest made that video, because then I got to say what I wanted to say. And Alien Nest kind of made the similar point that I wanted to make. That violence is never the answer, no matter what the case or what the scenario. Even if you're not watching somebody while they're dancing and you're a judge. There's no reason to resort to violence, because that one little match could light a forest fire. You know, if the wrong people are at that event, other people can get hurt that have nothing to do with the drama, and that's the whole point of not... that the slap is not permissible no matter what. And so I agree with Alien Ness, and there was some things he said that he was just in the heat of the moment, so he got a little bit aggressive while he was talking, but I do agree with the whole point of his video, and the point was not to be violent. So yeah, I hope that answers it. I answered that question in the last video, so I suggest you guys go check out Alien Ness calls out Larry for slapping green tech. Personnel. What has been my most memorable battle to judge? I think my most memorable battle to judge was at Furious Styles' anniversary in like 2009 or 2010 or 11. It was in Arizona, in Phoenix. And it was just a year or two after I was on So You Think You Could Dance. So Mr. Wizard is from Phoenix, Arizona. If you guys don't... Not Wizard, the one that got water poured on him by Green Tech, but Mr. Wizard from Funny Bones crew in Phoenix. If you guys haven't seen me versus Mr. Wizard, go check that out. That's an epic battle in itself. That's probably one of my most epic battles ever. But Wizard was at the event, and I was judging it. And he battled Frantic, and Frantic clearly won. And I voted for Frantic. And I think Wizard found that as a good opportunity to call me out and make a battle, so that way people would film him battling me again. Because at that time, if you battled me and got it on film, then it would be like... not a viral video, but it would get like thousands and thousands of views. And so I think he called me out more for that reason than my actual determination. And so that really stands out to me, because it could have been really bad. Mr. Wizard's kind of a hostile guy, like at that time he had just got out of prison when I battled him in the big battle in LA, the big battle, the famous viral battle. But yeah, so that the second time was kind of scary, because we were in Phoenix and all of the homies were there and everything, and he was starting to get like pretty disrespectful. And so yeah, but other than that, the event was awesome. I had so much fun. It was in Phoenix, yeah, so it was pretty epic. I stayed at this haunted hotel downtown, and I was with Legend. And actually, Legend got mad at me too. He was in the final, and he disagreed with my decision in the final, and he just like stopped talking to me. Legend, the beat slayer, you know, Legend, the one that made that song for that Le Twins made famous. Yeah, that Legend. So that Legend, I was judging him. He made it to the final, and he lost to an underdog, and all the judges voted what it was. It's like, but everyone had a problem with my vote for some reason. So that event really stuck out to me, and it made me never want to judge again. And then Fusion Concept was the complete opposite experience. I had so much fun in 2016 Fusion Concept judging that event. That was like a slap in the face for me, because I didn't know all that stuff was going on. I was kind of away from the scene a couple of years ago completely. And so when I saw Fusion Concept, they asked me to judge. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll judge. I showed up, and it was insane, and I saw the homies, and Yeah, so Fusion Concept and Furious Styles were really interesting events to judge. Completely different, but I remember them very, very well. So the chat has gone, it has moved a lot. So I'm sorry that I ranted on for that one for quite a while. But yeah, judging's stressful. It's not an easy thing to do. You're always going to have at least one person that's not satisfied, and you can't satisfy everyone with that one. So it's the same as vlogging. When you're vlogging and you're talking about serious subjects, it's like impossible. Not everyone's going to like you, period. And you just have to get that into your head. Same with dancing. I mean, you could be the best dancer in the world, and there's going to be like a big group of people that hate you. And that's just life, right? So, yep. Fred asks, how old was I when I started dancing? It was in 2003, 1987. So I was like 16 or 15. Yep. Yeah. Something like that. So I started a bit late, but when I started, like, I didn't stop. Like, I just continued dancing from 15 on until now. Full out. Took it seriously. Left home. Street performed. Like at 18 years old, right when I graduated, I was like, peace, mom and dad. I'm going to go to LA and street perform. Because I grew up in LA, but in my senior year when I was 18, when we moved to the Big Bear, which is like 2 hours outside of LA, it's up in the mountains. And I didn't graduate in LA. I ended up graduating up there. So I spent 6 months up in Big Bear, like when I was 17, 18. And I was like, F this, I hate it up here, there's nothing going on. So I moved back down to LA and lived with my grandma for a couple of years and street performed and paid rent in like a guest room. And that's what I did up until So You Think You Can Dance. So yeah, I started young. I started the whole career pretty young. I was like, dance is going to be the thing. This is what I like to do. So, yep. Do I think biting is a good way of learning? Or being original from the start is better? That's a good question. Because I was biting when I was young. Like, I learned by biting. So, yeah, I guess so. When you have no idea about the culture or the scene, you're not sure what to do. Of course, that's the first thing that you're going to do is just copy what you see that you like. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's it's like a human instinct that you want to, if you're inspired by something and you want to learn it, but you have no means to learn, then you copy. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing, but as long as you transition out of it soon, because you can create really bad habits by biting. So it really depends on the situation, but good question. Thanks for asking. Clarence writes, R.I.P. Skeeter Rabbit. Yes, R.I.P. And Wild Cherries. I don't know who Wild Cherries is, but yes, R.I.P. Rest in peace. Mr. Animation, I knew very well. He judged my last jam that I threw, and we also shared many spots at Santa Monica when I was street performing. He was also street performing almost every weekend, so we saw each other and talked a lot. And yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Animation, and rest in peace, Wave-O-Matic, who I was closest with out of all of the dancers that have recently passed away. Yeah, Wave-O-Matic and me go way back. Like, he was one of my first mentors to really push me and say, you should do you, keep doing you. Because a lot of OGs and purist poppers hated my style because I was doing flexible stuff and moves, and like, I was like the anti-popper back then. Even though I was still doing some popping, it was just a lot of people didn't like my style. So Wave-O-Matic really kept pushing me to keep going in the direction I was going, and I owe a lot to Wave-O-Matic. He also gave me a couple of my moves. That leg move I do when I bend my knees on the floor, one of my signature moves, Wave-O-Matic gave me that move. I copied it from him because I seen him do it, and I did it kind of robotically. Like, I didn't do it. Wave-O-Matic kind of did it like weird and wavy, like a squid or an octopus. And he's like, you should do it that way. That looks dope on you. And he like gave me that move. So anyway, yeah. Rest in peace, all the greats. Chief Channel writes, who do you think is the most versatile dancer? Who uses more styles in battles or in routines? For you, it's Larry, the Twins, and Schizo. Love your content. You're so natural. Thanks for the compliments. I appreciate that. Let me reread this real quick. Who's the most versatile dancer? Damn, that's a good question. There's a lot of them, especially these days. Most of the best are really versatile. I think Salah. I'm biased towards Salah. Salah is a triple threat. He does the original 3 styles of dance. B-boying, locking, and popping. And he does them all at high professional level. And he's won battles in all of the categories I just mentioned. So yeah, I think he has the most titles under his belt from many different genres. And he also won many all-styles battles as well. So for me, it might be Salah, but I know what you mean. I guess you kind of mean like a fusion of styles, not like good at 3 different individual styles or 4. So who has like the best mesh or melding of different styles? I think Schizo and the Twins are good candidates for that spot for sure. I think those are really good candidates for that spot. Yeah, especially Schizo. I don't know, maybe this isn't the best question for me. I don't know as many dancers as a lot of you guys know, and I'm always finding out about new people all the time as I do this channel. So yeah, I don't know if that was like a really great answer or not, but yeah, I think what you said is the best, and I would agree with you. Clarence Bodiger. Clarence Bodiger. Robert, who are your favorite poppers? Man, I answered this in one of my old question and answers. Is that what it's called? Q&A? Yeah, question and answers. I answered this like 10 months ago, who my favorite poppers were. I think back then I said Green Tech. Don't hate me. Don't dislike this video. This was before all the drama happened. But it was Green Tech, Poppin. Wait. Not Poppin, John Bugs. John Bugs, Green Tech, and... Oh, I was doing favorite dancers, and I picked Bonetics for the third one. But that was a long time ago, and my favorite poppers right now... Man, this is a good question. See, this is the kind of... Like, I need to prepare myself for these kind of questions. This is the kind of stuff I would want to make an episode on, you know, like top 10 poppers. Like, I'd have to put them on paper, and then go check how many wins they had, like, this year, and go check, like, their videos, and, like, make a fair judgment based on all these different criteria before I just throw out names. But based on battles I've recently seen, some poppers that stuck out. Blondie from France really stuck out. I really was digging Soul. I'm really digging Jet Li these days. Jet. I'm digging Slim Boogie always. Frantic always. There's a lot of animation dancers that I really like, but you said poppers, so... Yeah, I think that's a pretty good list for now. I really like Enoch or Enochs. I don't know how you're supposed to say that, pronounce that name. I never met him before, and I see it with an X at the end, but then I've also seen it with a CKS, so I think it's Enochs. But he has really sick waves. I'm a really big fan of his waves. And yeah, I think that's a good list. Thanks for asking. Let's see. Next question. I'm gonna go to Gabriel Sasu. What do you think about Hitman? He said that I inspired him. Hey from Romania. Hello from Finland. So Hitman, I think I've seen his name float around, but I can't put a face to the name. I don't know who Hitman is. Maybe maybe I've talked to him real quick briefly in a message or something on Instagram. But yeah, I'm not sure, but that's cool. I'm happy that I inspired him. That's dope to hear. So sorry, yeah, I don't know who Hitman is. Leave me a link, DM me a link, and I'll check him out. Or like link me to his Instagram or something. Personnel writes, what is my playlist to lab to? You know, a lot of the stuff that they play at Fusion Concept that Tight Eyes was talking shit about, like I listen to a lot of that like EDM instrumental hip hop that is kind of, it has like the sound and production quality of like dubstep or kind of like not really trap, but it has the production, like the sound, like the big heavy bass music sound, but it's like hip hop beats. That's the stuff I like. So a few artists I could name are Ivy Lab. Ivy Lab is really sick. They're out of the UK, and it's kind of like Jay Dilla, like weird syncopated beats that are a little bit offbeat, but have like a really heavy, thick texture to the songs. I like that kind of stuff. Like, I guess kind of like Thriftworks. Thriftworks is a little bit more like psychedelic-ish, I would say. So I kind of like it a little bit more hard. Yeah. Heavy EDM, hip-hop, weird beats. Genres of music are hard to explain and hard to define, so yeah, I like that stuff. Popping aside, what is the style you are in about? I like hip hop. I was really into new style when it was first coming onto the scene, like Fabrizi or Fabriz, like back in the day, like in 2010, 2011, kind of around the time Twins were starting to get really popular. Around that time, new style for me was really sick, and I would watch those videos to get inspired because people were doing. There was just so much energy, and I just like the energy of that dance style. And I still do, and I like the way it's evolved a lot. Like, I like Wadey, and I like Paradox, and Alex the Cage, and I like all this new era hip-hop dancing that's kind of going on in Europe. And so, yeah, I guess that would be, aside from popping, what I like to watch. And I also like to watch b-boying. Like, I love to watch b-boying. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a b-boy. I did not want to be a popper. I did not want to do... I wanted to be a b-boy, but I was a better stand-up dancer than... Yeah, I was just an uncoordinated little kid that could not b-boy for anything. So, there you go. Joshua! Dude, thank you for the donation. So, I said I would answer questions from donators first. I appreciate the donation. I really do. One more time, Joshua was somebody that I did a dance video with. Has anyone seen that video I did in New York with another dancer? That dancer was Joshua Deal. I actually did a reactions and critiques with Joshua on it, like long before I met him. And then I came to New York and he hit me up like, yo, you're gonna be in New York, let's link. We linked and we made a sick ass video. So he was one of the first people that I've met through the channel, and we actually linked up and made a dance video. So big up Joshua. You didn't need to do that, but I appreciate it, man. Jaywalk versus Wiggle Walk. What are my thoughts? Honestly, dude, that it doesn't bother me. Honestly, it really doesn't bother me. Yeah, it's a bite, and he rebranded it as something else, but I mean, the OGs know, the people that matter, the people in the scene know. So it's just like Michael Jackson calling the backslide the moonwalk. In the dance scene back then, it was called the backslide. It wasn't called the moonwalk, but Michael Jackson popularized that move and called it the moonwalk. So it's the same thing. Jaywalk is popularizing the wiggle walk, but calling it something different. And is it much different than what Michael Jackson did? Sure, the argument will be that Michael Jackson is a legend and he could do whatever the hell he wants, right? And who the hell is Jaywalk, right? Some viral YouTuber guy. Vine died. Yeah, so I don't know, man. All the dancers know that it's the Wiggle Walk. So the Wiggles Walk. So I don't know. I don't hate. So next question. Thanks for the donation once again, Josh, and thanks for the question. Dance lover, how many hours you used to practice when you took dance seriously? And people say that big dancers like Schizo and the Twins practice 12 hours a day. Are they right? What do you believe? I mean, it's possible. 12 hours a day seems like a bit of a stretch, but it's possible. I mean, all three of the dancers you mentioned are all at the very, very top of their game. They're considered top 10 best dancers in the world, right? All three of them. So, I don't know. I'm not sure what the minimum hours practice is these days for people that are in the spotlight. They might practice all day long every day. It could be. I mean, a lot of them know every freaking song ever whenever they're played at a battle. And you have to be listening to a lot of music all the time to be knowing all of those songs and know the lyrics to all of these different songs and be able to bust them. So, I don't know, 12 hours? Maybe, maybe not. Me personally, back then, I wouldn't dance for 12 hours. That's for sure, no. I think I would go for like, on average, like 4 hours a day with my crew. And not too much more than that. It wasn't like straight practice, like, it was a lot of crashing and trying new things and, you know, watching other people dance. You take a break, sit on the side for a while. Yeah, so I don't know. Good question. I would love to know how long they train for as well. Thanks for asking, Dance Lover 15. So Clarence Bodiger writes, Wild Cherry is a Japanese OG who passed away. He was close to Skeeter Rabbit. Okay. And from the same set as Aki. I didn't know that. So that now I do. Thanks for letting me know. And that's sad. It just sucks losing people in any case, of course. So, yeah. Reshef, you ever saw B-Boy Storm popping and locking? I'd say you react to him, especially his block party video. Yeah, he is a triple threat like Salah, and you're right. And I did see Storm, yes, many times. I remember watching him as a young teenager, like some of the first dance videos I ever seen. It was like Storm and like his like judge showcase from Battle of the Year, like in the 90s or the early 2000s. But yeah, Storm is a legend. I'll eventually do a video on Storm. And didn't Storm just release a video recently? Was that him doing the video where he jumps into the water and there's sound effects? Trip Out. I'm not going to call it a bite, but somebody else does the same exact idea. And that somebody is in this circus. There's a clown named Andre, and that's his clown name, Andre the Clown. Clown Andre. He's from Switzerland, and he's been around since the 90s with this act where he goes into the circus ring, but he like picks up his pants like he's about to go in the water. He's like, oh, there's a fish. And he fake puts on goggles and a snorkel, and he jumps in the water, and there's like sound effects, and he's sloshing around the water. And he takes a volunteer from the audience, and he goes fishing with them, and then so there's this whole story based off of that trick. And then I saw Storm's recent showcase doing the same thing. I mean, the story that he does is not there, but the gimmick is exactly the same. Like jumping into water and using sound effects and sloshing around, and he eventually turns it into a dance routine, so it's not like a real bite, but it was really interesting to see that if he did take this idea, that it was taken from the guy that's literally living right next to me in a caravan. So that would be a small world if he did take that idea from him or borrowed that gimmick. So Yeah, Storm will definitely get a What Makes This Dancer Great. Definitely. I just need to make the time to do it. Mr. Wiggles as well, and a lot of the OGs that deserve a spot will definitely get one. Um, it's hard to do episodes on people that have like that legendary status, like Storm and like Wiggles, because I don't want to miss anything when I talk about them. Like, there's a lot to talk about, and it's easy to get flustered and run through the dancers on this show and then not say the main points that you want to say in the beginning. So I really need to make some bullet notes on both Storm and Wiggles, on aspects of their dance that I want to talk about, because they really changed the game, both of them. But yeah, next question. What do I think about Pacman? Pacman's gangster. He's awesome. And since I made the What Makes This Dancer Great about Pacman, he reached out. We got in contact, and next time I'm in LA, probably early next year, we're gonna link up and we're gonna do something, as long as the planets align. So yeah, Philip Shabib is awesome. He's one of my favorite choreographers of the day. Definitely. And something that annoys me is everyone bites Philip Shabib's style of choreography. Everyone does threads now, and it's really annoying because almost every duo dance, street dance video is just threading all the time. It's threading no matter what. Guy and girl duo, threading. Guy and guy duo, threading. Girl and girl duo, threading. Like, everyone's doing Pacman's threading. Come up with something original. Rant over. Next question. If you guys want to get at me on Instagram, Gabriel asks or says, I don't know your Instagram. My Instagram is at Robert Muriane, no spaces, just how it's spelled on my channel. Robert Muriane, but with no spaces, just put the words together. Follow me on Instagram. I post I post memes. Don't follow me. It's a bad idea. Don't do it. No. I've been posting a lot of memes, but it's been raining here and I'm in a caravan, so it's hard to find a cool spot to do a dance video. I've been wanting to do one, but it's raining all the time and it's cold and windy. So, yeah, soon. Next question. Robert, can you please tell me how to overcome anxiety while dancing? Bro, practice. Practice. It should be fun when you're dancing. If you have anxiety while you're dancing, then you must be practicing wrong, or the anxiety comes when you're performing. That's understandable, or if you're in a battle. But if you have anxiety just dancing, period, it shouldn't produce it. If that's the case, you should just clear your mind. Don't think about technique. Don't think about moves. Put on a song you love and just start moving to it, and film yourself moving to it, and watch yourself just freely express to the music. Watch yourself and then take the moments that you liked and then try and do them as part of a little routine. And those movements should come natural to you because you did them as a freestyle. And if you go in there thinking that you have to do this perfect set, and I'm going to do an arm wave, and then I'm going to do some tutting, and then I'm going to do some roboting after that, and then you get lost in the middle, and then you're worried because you got lost because you had a plan. Now where am I going to start? What am I going to do? Take all that stuff out of your head and just let the music take over your body, and film yourself and see what happens. Do that multiple times this week. Then after you've done that, after you feel like you've got it all out of you, your anxiety's out, then try and do a set where, okay, a short routine, I'm going to start with this style, and then I'm going to transition to this one, and I'm going to end with this one. And then finish it. Like, you don't need to finish the song, just set short goals and work your way up until it starts becoming comfortable. Keep practicing. Hope that helps. It's hard. There's no real one way to like cure anxiety during your dance, but I hope maybe that this method might work. Take baby steps. There's no rush to get to the top very fast. So also dance around other dancers and ask them what they think. Listen to other people, even non-dancers. Non-dancers will tell you a lot that dancers will never tell you and never think to tell you. I listen to so many of the people in the audience when they tell me. A lot of people in the audience give me advice. They'll be like, "Oh, if you change this little thing, I think it would be better." And I give them a listen and then I try it. If I think it's a pretty decent idea, I won't try everything, but if I think it's like, damn, that's a pretty good idea, I'll give it a shot. And if it works, I'll keep it. But yeah, yeah. I lost my train of thought there, but next question. Personnel writes, how do you feel about coming out to El Paso to judge demo? What do I need to do? Just hit me up, message me, DM me. We could talk about it. Email me, mrfantastic at live.com. Send me a mail. I've been to El Paso before. It's an awesome place. I really loved El Paso. Really did. Oh, there was this Mexican food joint really close to the border that I loved. It was so bomb, and I went a bunch of times while I was there. But really cool city, and I would love to come out and demo and judge. 2019 isn't possible. I'm going to be working all year until January, but then after that I have nothing 100%, so hit me up. Art Phoenix. Robert, instead of battling, would you like to do a collab with Philip Chabib? Because seriously, I've been waiting for that day like crazy. You guys are Goku and Vegeta and Spider-Man and Venom. Okay, a question to you, Art. Which one's Goku and which one's Vegeta? And which one's Spider-Man and which one's Venom? But that's what I was saying. If the planets align, when I go to LA and Philip is in LA when I'm in LA next year, then we're going to collab. Like 100%. It's already been talked about. It's in my inbox. It's going down. So I hope you're happy to hear that. I'm sorry that it's going to take a while. Fred TYB, any good apps to put music over videos? I use Adobe Premiere, bro. You have to let me know what phone you're using, or if you're using a computer, or if you're using an Apple, or if you're using Android. So I can give you some tips on apps, but they're usually done with video editing apps, not with anything else. Like there's no music on video app, or there probably is, but normally I would do it with like a full-on video editing app, because then you have all the export settings. You don't lose the quality of the sound in the video. Plus, you can usually mix the audio so you don't like redline, or you don't peak the audio so it doesn't distort. Yeah. But on my videos, I'm really into music production. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm really into making beats and sound and audio. And so I know how to make the sound on my videos like really loud without it distorting, or without it distorting horribly. So there's a lot of different, I could make a video on it if you guys want to know. I like a lot of little tech things, so I've been debating whether I should make videos about how I make my videos. Let me know if you guys would want to see something like that. I know I'm a dancer and this is a dance channel and it would be like a tech thing, but I could share my secrets on how I make my channel and all the little things that make it work aside from me just being a talking head on here. What's up, Mr. Watson? How you doing, man? Welcome back. Art Phoenix says, Robert and Philip are my favorite dancers. They made me choose popping instead of breakdance. To move Inhuman was way more attractive. My colleagues at work would freak out with our moves. Yeah, cool, man. I mean, I wanted to be b-boy too, like I said earlier, and yeah, there's just something about popping. Like if you have the knack for it, then it could be really entertaining and really interesting for people to watch if you do it in that way. There's a bunch of different ways you could be a popper, but yeah, I know what you mean. I like to freak people out too. Like, I like the blow-ups in b-boying. I liked moves, and I liked the explosion and the beat kills of b-boying. And so I had to make sure that was present in my own dancing. That was definitely a must, because I really wanted to be a b-boy. That was my dream. So yeah, I can relate to you, Art Phoenix. But thanks for the shout out, man. That's nice of you. Dance Lover says, I am a beginner and I just want to know how you practice dance. I don't practice like that anymore. I'm not a beginner anymore. But when I was a beginner, I was doing drills. I was practicing drills, hitting hard, finding my groove, practicing the party dances and the basic popping foundation all the time. Looking in the mirror for straight tuts. Like, all I did was foundation forever. All my tricks I had since I was like a kid, I could do all the flexible stuff. Aside from the leg behind the head, a lot of that stuff I didn't have to train for so long. But the popping foundation, I trained forever. So do drills and do Fresnos. All those boring ass drills make the difference. Take classes, dance with other poppers. Do everything within your reach to make yourself a better dancer, and you will become a better dancer. Mr. Watson asks, will you ever put out any tutorials? I'd pay. Well, in that case, I'm not putting anything out till you give me that money. No, I'm just kidding. Of course I will. I'm going to put out tutorials in November. Everyone's asking me these days. I don't know what the surge in this question has been lately. Everyone wants me to put out tutorials since like a month ago. So I will in November when I get back to Paris at the Crazy Horse where I'll be working, the cabaret. There's a dance room. So I have a free dance room whenever I want. And I'm going to use that dance room as the dance studio to teach you guys tutorials. So yeah, it's going to happen. I don't have the means to teach properly in this caravan or in the tent. There's no lights. I need lights and I need a lot of things like a mirror. So I hope that answers your question. Soon. And you don't need to pay. If you want to pay, you can donate right now. Super chat's open. Okay. Art Phoenix says, I will make definitely a video dedicated to me just to get back in shape. All right, go for it, man. I'm not going to thank you until you do it. You know what I mean? Gotta motivate you. If you just do all my moves, though, then don't do it. Let's see what you got to show. Do some original stuff. I'm much more interested in watching someone do their own things than a tribute to me and my dancing. Like, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's flattering, but to watch someone else do my moves is just not as interesting as watching someone go off and expressing themselves in their own way. So I recommend you bust your own freestyle. Not that you said you were going to do my stuff, but I think a dedication video usually means like you're going to do my moves. No offense. Rob, freely express to the music is a massive pointer. Yes, it is. Wow, it's already 12? Holy crap. Been going for a while. How many of y'all are there? 6 still? Alright, cool. Why not? I'm going to end this soon. I'm only going to answer a couple of more questions. I didn't know I went on for an hour already. Well, that's good to know. Time flies when you're having fun. Yes, please make videos on how you make videos. You're a dancer and lyricist and would like to know. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll make a little series where I uncover a little bit of my production methods and the way I set up my lights and the gear I have and the microphone I use and all that boring stuff that makes your videos look better. I also like giving tips on how to set locations for dance videos because a lot of dancers have trouble finding a nice location or they set up their camera wrong. It'll be a beautiful location but the camera's in a weird spot or they'll be dancing in a weird spot and there's a lot of little tricks that you can make the video look way better without even doing anything. It's just about positioning yourself in the camera in the right place and knowing where your light source is. It just counts so much. But yeah, cool. I'm glad people are actually interested in that. I won't like make like 20 videos in 1 week about it or anything, but I might sprinkle like a few video production videos on my channel in the future. Top 5 classic popping tracks ever. I'm an electro guy, so anything Kraftwerk or Egyptian Lover or like that era, Jones and Crew, Twilight 22. I like that kind of old school stuff, like the electro stuff, the West Coast, old Dr. Dre before he was hip hop style stuff. The Jerry curl rhyming to beat machines and 808s and stuff. So I listed a few artists, but I never was, and I'm not so much still a fan of like G-Funk and all that. I'm really a big fan of Zapp and Roger Troutman. But other than that, like Cameo and all of that stuff, I'm not like a huge fan of, honestly. So I wouldn't even have a top for that. Like I have all that music to practice popping to, but I don't really enjoy it. It's kind of sad, right? But I think that's why like I was kind of on the edge between the two generations, the old school generation and the new school generation, because I like dancing to new music. I was a popper with popping foundation that danced to new music, which is kind of like what animation dancers do. And I'm more on that side of the style of popping than I am like the old school OG stuff. Like I grew up during that era, and I was like one of those first ones to be experimental in the genre of popping. Not the first one, but one of the first ones to really like be right on the border of the OG style and the new style. So yeah, I didn't like popping music. Alright, Fred also wants me to make a video about recording audio. Yeah, audio is the most difficult thing to get down for video, because you need a bunch of shit, man. You need to buy a microphone, and the more expensive, or it's normally the case, but the more expensive your microphone is, the better it'll sound, and the better the headroom will be. And so yeah, it's a complex subject, and I'll definitely dive into it in the future and like give you guys an overview of my basic vlogging setup. Thanks, Art, for the compliments. I'm only gonna answer like 1 or 2 more, and then I'm out of here. It's been almost an hour, or it's been about an hour. Adolfo Perez writes, how do I deal with blockage from your full dance potential? Sometimes I'll dance around my friends and peers, but it just doesn't seem like I'm giving it my all compared to when you dance on your own. Damn, that's crazy. I'm the complete opposite of you, Adolfo. I have the tendency to not practice hard, but perform super hard. So I actually have the opposite problem. When I practice, it's hard for me to go full out because I feel like there's almost no point when I'm practicing. But when there's people watching me, I feel like I have something to prove, that I have to go hard because that's what they want to see. So, man, good question. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the one to answer that. Like I said, I'm the opposite kind of person. I can't even imagine that. Like, not being able to go full out in front of my friends and when people are watching me. Like, it's a default for me. I almost don't even think about it. But whenever there's an audience, I perform like 100 times harder than when I'm recording myself on video or in a mirror. Pretty interesting, though. Interesting question. Thanks, Mr. Watson. Thanks for hanging out. Cool, Art. I'm glad you got your own moves. Fish bath every day, you know it. Because dab is resinous, man. It sticks to the lungs, sticks to the clothes. So yeah, cool. I ran out of questions anyways. I'm not gonna read what I have. I had some questions in my community section, but oh well. Thanks y'all for hanging out with me. It's been a long question and answer, a 1 hour long question and answer, but it was cool. Y'all asked some interesting questions, and it was fun hanging out. I like the live streaming thing, getting used to it. So yeah, if you've been hanging out, please like this video. Donations are closed, but thanks for those of you who did donate. Joshua, basically. The last live stream I had like 4 or 5 donations, which was really nice. I never had donations before on here, so it's really cool when they do happen. Definitely a plus. Glad Super Chat's finally available on my channel. It's really nice. Channel's blowing up. I really appreciate all the support, guys. I know I report on drama a lot, and I haven't been getting a lot of drama back yet. I have a feeling that I might in the near future, but so far so good. Like, I'm covering touchy subjects and touchy topics and going a little bit further each time I make a new video, but you know, I try to keep it as real as possible, and I try and present as much evidence for truth as I can in any of these videos. So I appreciate y'all watching me, and I appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me. So my name is Robert Rain. This has been Question and Answers live stream. Until next time, peace. And I'm used to reaching for the camera, but today I have to stop it on the computer.